Hello, we are live. I'm a little later than I expected. I was going to be live at like 1, but Bo's bedding, hold on, let me turn off my notifications so this won't be annoying. Okay, turn those off. Bo's bedding was in the dryer. It was actually in the washer, and I had to move it to the dryer during when he was supposed to go take his nap, because he will not sleep with any other bedding. He was like, nope, I am not accepting a substitution. I need my bedding. And so I had to wait until his bedding dried a little bit. I didn't let it dry all the way because it would be a whole nother hour, but I I took it out when it was dry-ish, and I said, is this okay? And he's like, yes. So he just loves his bedding. He won't take a substitution. So anyway, I'm 20 minutes late, but that's okay. We are here. Baby won't take a nap either. I said, maybe you could take a nap. And she said, nope, not doing it. Not gonna do it. Do you want to say hi? You want to say hi? She likes the camera. Oh, now she turns. Oh, now she turns again. There she is. Say hi. There's Laura Kate. There's Laura Kate. She likes the camera. She's getting so big. She'll be 6 months in 2 weeks. That's crazy. 6 months old. That's so old. That's so old. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I'm going to jump into the questions. I'm going to stand up today because I pulled my back out the other day. Of all things, I was lifting my mother-in-law who just broke her hip, and she had surgery and recovered in the hospital, and she was finally gonna come home, and I had to help her get into my van, and it's a 15-passenger van. It's really high up, and so I didn't know another way to do it, so I stood in my driver's seat kind of area and leaned over and lifted her from the ground up kind of, and the other nurse helped lift, but that leaning over and lifting movement, and I lifted a lot, it was just kind of too much for my back. So standing feels nice and laying down feels nice, but sitting not so much. And so I'm not gonna sit down, I'm gonna stand up for our live today, and she likes when I stand too, so it's kind of a win-win. But I'll be fine in a few days, so it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's just I'm being dramatic today, huh? And yesterday. Okay, first question. Will you have any more babies? That's always the top of the list. So the answer to that is I don't know. So we have 10 babies, and if we have no more babies, that is fine. And if we had more babies, that is fine too. So to be determined on that one. Someone said, are you teaching your girls to not eat meat by calling it man food? Meat is for everyone, not just men. So I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat since I was a kid. I think I've been vegetarian since I was 8. So I eat eggs, I eat dairy, and I'll have fish. But if my girls want to eat meat, they can eat meat. But I always joke and call steak or hamburger man food, mainly because my boys are the ones that like the steak and hamburger. But I don't discourage my girls from eating meat. They can do whatever they want, but they love chicken. That's their favorite meat. They love chicken nuggets. They love, that's their main thing. But the other day, Jenna had steak, and she was like, this is really good. And I was like, you can have steak if you want steak. But I guess if she starts eating steak a lot, I'll have to stop calling it man food. All right, next question. Why is baseball over so early? Baseball here is kind of a spring thing. I know they have baseball all year round, but we usually start baseball practice at the beginning of the year, and then play throughout the spring into summer, and then fall is more of volleyball, basketball, and that kind of thing. So right now we are not in baseball season. Link for your 3-barrel curling iron. I can do that. I'll send it. I'll put it in stories. So this is on TikTok right now, but I'm also going to save it and then share it to Instagram, Facebook, all of that, because I know a lot of people like to watch this on those platforms, and I will link my curling iron and a bunch of other things in stories on those platforms. Next question, are you Republican or Democrat? So I don't really talk about political stuff much because, well, obvious reasons, right? I just don't. But I don't think it would take people much to look at our family and see, I don't know, they would just realize we're more conservative. So we are conservative voters typically. Okay, next question. How do you cope with being so vulnerable to haters and judgers? I couldn't handle it. So on that question, I would say that over time that gets a little bit easier, just because you know that everyone is going to have an opinion no matter what your page is about. I mean, it could be about candles or anything, and somebody's going to say something mean about it. And the fact that our family is a big family and it's not typical, and just the way we live sometimes causes people to say mean things. And what I tell my kids at school is kind of the same advice I take for my page, is that people's comments reflect more about their heart than it does what we're doing, my page, what I'm saying. And as long as I know that my posts and my heart has good intentions and my intent is pure and good, then I can handle all the comments. You know, I don't get upset usually about comments. If I feel like I'm unsettled after spending a lot of time reading comments or responding comments, I will take a step back, because sometimes they do get to you after a while. Like if I have a reel go viral, and those are when the comments get kind of ugly. But those people don't know us, they don't know our family, they don't follow us, they just saw this reel, reacted, and left. So, but if I get in those comments too much, I feel, you know, I could start feeling defensive, like, no, that's not how it is, or, you know, my older kids aren't raising my younger kids, or, you know, on and on and on. Then I just need to take a step back. So one thing I did do, and my Facebook followers will love this, is, like a year ago or more, I turned on this like automatic replier to comments, and it was like a heart, smiley face, whatever, just to have a response to comments, because I wasn't able to personally get to all of my comments. So I just did that, and it also helped with engagement. You know, it's the Facebook game, whatever. But I turned that off yesterday, so my Facebook followers will love that, because they didn't really like the automatic heart and star anyway, or the heart and smiley face. So I turned that off, and so I am going to make an effort to personally respond more to those comments, and even on TikTok, even on YouTube, Instagram, because when it comes down to it, that is my favorite part of this whole page, is the connection. It's the community connection. It's the feeling like we are friends, you know, like in real life. Like I will see people in real life that follow our page, and it's an immediate connection. They know our family. I don't necessarily know them, but I love that connection. I love when people reach out to me to tell me exciting things going on in their lives, or tell me a story about something they've went through. Or just offer advice if it's, you know, kind advice. I love that. And so for me to respond with a generic heart and star didn't feel very genuine. So I took that off, and I'm going to be responding more. I still won't get to all of them, but I'm going to try to get to as many as I possibly can, and I'm excited about that. But with that said, that question, just about how I deal with those comments and things, is I focus on just the intent of my page, and you know that, and I know that the comments are more of a reflection on the people commenting than they are me. And if I'm feeling unsettled, I just take a step back. and I say, you know what, I'm going to stay out of comments for a while. I'm going to kind of like guard my heart, not spend time in these comments. And my kids, I have a few older kids who are on social media too. And I tell them the same thing. I'm like, you guys, if you follow our page, if you see our comments, like, don't let them bother you, because, you know, if they're on Instagram and they see, or their friends are on Instagram and they see one of our reels that go viral, there's sometimes thousands and thousands of comments on those. And I'm not going to go through and moderate all of them. I just tell my kids, you know, you guys don't pay attention to those. Just know who we are, know who you are. Don't let them bother you. So that's kind of how I deal with it. But it did take time to get to this point, because, you know, me 4 years ago would have probably lost sleep over some of this. And I don't get as bothered by it anymore. I just kind of keep going on my happy little way. I think it's kind of an age thing too, maybe. I don't know. All right, next question. Have you always wanted a large family? Yes. Quick, easy answer, yes. Ever since I can remember. There was not a time I remembered not wanting a large family. So, same with my husband. He always wanted a large family. I actually did a reel about that today. So, why don't you burp Laura? I get asked that a lot too. So I pump milk exclusively throughout the day. I pump milk when I wake up around 7 o'clock is her first bottle. And it's so neat because as she gets older, I pump more milk. Like right now I'm like filling up like a 8-ounce bottle in the morning. And she drinks it because she's growing. And then I pump about every 3 hours throughout the day. But then at nighttime, I nurse her. And then we co-sleep. But I've been putting her in her crib at night lately because she's been waking up in the middle of the night. And so I found that we all sleep better if she's in her crib. And she's starting to get used to it. I tried to put her down for a nap just a second ago. And she was like, nope. So here we are. But I don't mind it. But I give her a bottle throughout the day because I pump milk, and I do burp her, but I found that it doesn't really matter. Like, she still spits up. And so she's like a happy spitter. She spits up. That's why I always have like a blanket on me. It's kind of like a blanket, but it's also like a burp cloth. she's just a spit up baby. Yes, you are. I've had lots of babies who are spit up babies, and you're one of them. You spit up all the time, even if I burp you. It's so crazy. What is Bo's bedtime and wake up time? So Bo goes to bed. Usually, sometimes I say 8, but in reality, it's probably closer to like 8:30. So he goes to bed around 8:30. And he wakes up in the morning, usually around 7:38, sometimes longer. Like this morning, it was rainy, so I think he slept a little bit later because it was rainy, but he didn't get out of bed today till about 8:30. So it's like 12 hours. I mean, he loves his sleep. And like right now, he's back in bed. So he will sleep probably 2 hours for his nap, and then wake up, hang out, eat, play, go back to bed. So he's a growing boy. I love that he loves sleep though. It's nice. I get a little bit done because of that. I remember when Sam was about his age, I asked our pediatrician, I said, is it okay that he sleeps this much? Because like Sam slept probably even more than Bo. Because I remember Sam would take like 2 naps sometimes. And our pediatrician was like, yeah, he's just a growing boy. As long as he's like eating, going to the bathroom, like doing all the basic things, it's fine. And he just really loved sleep. So Bo was the same way. All right, next question. How old are you? I am 43 at the moment, but in like, oh my gosh, is it like, yeah, it's like less than 2 weeks. I'll be 44. That's so weird. I don't feel that old, but it sounds old, but it doesn't feel old. Although today I feel old because I pulled my back out, so. Are you pulling my hair? So anyway, 43, but if you ask me again in a few weeks, I'm going to say 44. That's so crazy. And my husband will be 45. That's crazy. Whatever. Age is just a number, right? Somebody just asked, did pregnancy get harder as you got older? No, it didn't. Thankfully, it did not. All my pregnancies have been the same, honestly. They honestly have been the same. They haven't been any different. They did maybe a little more tests, that they offered tests after age 35 that they didn't bring up when I was younger than 35, but everything was the same. They were all the same. No complications, nothing like that. I know everyone's different, and of course you have to consult your doctor. I have to say that, but I would say if you want another baby and you feel healthy, don't let age detour you, because I couldn't imagine not having baby Laura here if I was too scared to have a baby after age 40. And Bo too. I had Bo after age 40. And he's wonderful. I couldn't imagine our family without these two. Next question. Sending you a hug. Thank you. What happened? Oh, somebody asked what happened to Grampy Norm's truck. Will Liam have that one? So Grampy Norm's truck, the blue truck that we got him, right now Lucas's brother is using that truck, but Liam is going to get his permit pretty soon, and so that's a possibility that Liam will drive his truck. We'll just have to figure all that out. Those things usually just kind of figure themselves out. So somebody said, I saw your channel, or I love your channel. It inspired me to create one as a mom of 10. Awesome. Good job. That's so cool. Is your pool heated? Yes, it does have a heater. I'll say that. It's not heated, like it's not on right now, but it does have a heater. We've used it just a little bit. It works really well. Whenever it's on, it heats it like it feels like a bathtub. I mean, you can adjust the temperature on it. It makes the electric bill crazy. Like it'll double the electric bill when we use the pool heater. And the kids they're not as interested in swimming after school starts and all their fall sports. So we don't usually use the pool heater too much, but we do have it in case we ever did. I thought we would use it more than we do, but the kids after summertime, are you talking? After summertime, they just kind of lose interest, and so we usually close the pool for the winter around like October, something like that. So we have a heater, we just don't use it. What state are you in? We are in Arkansas, northern Arkansas. Let's see. How old are all of your beautiful children? We have children ages, we have 10 children, and their ages 5 months, almost 6 months, to 17. Jenna is 17, so about every 2 years from 5 months to 17. Who does Laura Kate look like now? That is a good question. I think she looks like Evie and Rosalind to me. She reminds me, you remind me a lot of baby Evie. When Evelyn was a baby, her personality reminds me of Evelyn, but the way she looks reminds me a lot of Rosalind. So I don't know, to be determined. She has her own look though. You're your own person for sure. You are. She's very social. She loves people talking to her. She loves looking at the camera, getting sleepy. She loves people, and she loves babbling to people. And she does not like being in a room by herself or in a corner by herself. Like if I want to put her down and think that she wants quiet, she does not want quiet. She wants people around her all the time, which is probably good because there's usually people around her all the time. But yeah, she's got her own personality, and it's so fun to watch it come out. She's so sweet. She reminds me of Rosie for looks, I'd say, and Evie for personality. And she's definitely a mama's girl. Like, if I hand her off to anybody, she usually makes a big deal about it. She doesn't cry. She like yells. It's really funny, actually. She just yells. All right, next question. What kind of shampoo conditioner do your kids use to help with green hair in the pool? That's a good question. We have a saltwater pool, and I know that the way the saltwater pool works is it like converts salt to chlorine, so it's technically a chlorine pool even though it's salt. But we haven't had green hair since we've had our saltwater pool, which is really cool because we had a chlorine pool once in Little Rock where we used to live, and Jenna was a little girl when we had that pool, and it was a constant struggle to keep her hair from getting green from the chlorine because she had beautiful blonde hair and her hair was always green. And you know what actually worked, and this is so crazy, but ketchup worked. So I tried all the shampoos, I tried everything, and what we ended up doing, and it smelled terrible, it smelled like you had ketchup on your head, because you did, but I would put ketchup on her head whenever her hair would be super green, and I would wrap it in saran wrap. It sounds so bad. I would wrap it in saran wrap, and then I'd put a swim cap over that, and I'd put a movie on or something and let her watch a movie. And I mean, this is when she was like 6 years old, but and I'd leave it on there for probably 30 minutes or so, and then I would just wash it out with just whatever shampoo conditioner we had, and it would take the green out of her hair. But here I haven't used anything special for the little kids or for my blonde kids for keeping their hair not being green from the pool. But yeah, the struggle is real. I have been there. One thing they say is if you get your hair wet before you get in the pool, or if you put conditioner on your hair before you get in the pool and like rinse it out, that there will be no more, I guess, room with in your hair to absorb any of the chlorine. I've heard that several times from hair people, but in real life that doesn't usually work for us, because when the kids want to go swimming, they don't want to stop and wash their hair and then go swimming. They just want to like jump in the pool. So that we've never actually done that, but I've heard that works if people are watching and they're interested in that. But I've always remembered the ketchup trick. If I had any kid that had green hair, I would, she's going to sleep, I would use ketchup. Even though it smells weird on your head, it works. All right, next question. No question. I just wanted to let you know I have been praying for your dad. Your post brightened my day. Thank you so much. He's doing as well as can be expected. He doesn't have a trach anymore or a PICC line. He only has a feeding tube. He's at home, and he's simply working on getting stronger. And this is something funny, not funny really, but interesting, I guess, that happened yesterday. The home health person came to our home to see my mother-in-law because she is here and she needs home health. And he knocked on my door, and I mentioned to him, I said, you might be the same one who's caring for my dad, which is so crazy because we have 2 people here on our property needing home health. I mean, how crazy is that? And he said, yes, I am. I am the person that cares for your dad too. And he goes, he's doing great. So it was nice to hear, but it's just such a weird season having 2 of our parents needing home health. But my dad's doing great. Thank you for your prayers. And he's just working on getting stronger. So someone asked about my baby ring. So I normally wear my kids' birthstone rings on this finger right here, and I haven't worn them in so long. And the main reason is I kept getting an irritation on my finger for some reason from the rings. They were all like 14 karat gold. I think it was just that there were so many of them. I think water would get trapped under them, like when I'd wash dishes or whatever. And it kind of irritated my, she fell asleep. It kind of irritated my finger. And so I took them off, and I just haven't put them back on, but I do need to. So thank you for reminding me, because I love those rings, and my kids love playing with those. Like when we're in church, my kids love sitting next to me and like playing with their rings. I'm gonna sit like this because you guys probably want to see this sleeping baby. She's so sweet. Aw. Here's your zen for the day. Aw. Next question. What do you take to manage postpartum hair loss? I don't take anything necessarily, but I will say that I have lost hair after some babies and not others, and I don't know why. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I think some of the reason is that whenever you're pregnant, your hair gets so thick, and then after you have the baby, your hair is back to normal, and so it feels like you're losing a lot of hair. But sometimes I think maybe it's not losing hair, maybe it's just losing that extra thickness that happened during pregnancy. But I don't know. I've noticed it more with some babies. After baby Laura, I didn't notice that I lost hardly any hair. So I don't know why. I just didn't. So it's so cute. Someone said that their girls still talk about playing with their late mom's rings in church. That's so sweet. I was thinking about that the other day, just how like I remember playing with my mom's hands at church, just sitting there because you're kind of bored, you know, you have nothing to do. And I think my kids will remember that too, like sitting in church next to me, playing with their birthstone rings and just playing with my hands, because that's what they do. I try not to let them have like phones or tablets at church. I just let them sit and listen. They can color, they can, sometimes I'll let them bring like a few little toys like cars or a few dolls or something, but I try to limit the electronics. And so I think if they get like a healthy dose of boredom during church sometimes, but their ears are still on, they're still hearing a little bit, right? And they play with my hands, I think out of boredom, but it's really sweet. I just sit there and they just play with my hands. All right, next question. Does your husband talk a lot about what happens when he's at work? No, he does not at all. He very much like checks his job at the door, and I sometimes tell him, I'm like, you can talk about work to me, like I don't care. But he I think he just wants to, like he wants to keep it very separate. And so he's a neurosurgeon and his job is very stressful. I mean, I couldn't imagine the stress that he has at work. And I hear it, like when he has calls at home, like I'll hear his conversations and I just think to myself, like he's just so amazing. Like I could not imagine having that kind of stress, but he handles it amazing. But I think he handles it amazing because she likes to sleep with her face like straight down. Yeah, turn your head. There you go. But I think he handles it so well because he does just leave it at the door. Like he's like, all right, that was stressful and now I'm home and I don't want to have stress. I want to have just like cute, happy, fun time at home. And but he does talk a little bit about work. Like I know the bullet points, but I don't know the details. And I know he doesn't want to talk about them and I'm fine with that. So whenever he's home, we just talk about our sweet little babies and lighthearted stuff. Let's see. Do you use farm animals for meat, rabbits and cows, or just eggs? So we mainly use the chickens for eggs. Sometimes there'll be like a meat bird, but not usually. We usually just have the chickens for their eggs. And bunnies, the boys will have them for meat sometimes. Sometimes they're pets, you know. Pigs, if we ever have a pig, that will be a meat thing. And the cow that's in the field right now, a lot of you know this story, but the cow was something that Grampy Norm loved to do. Like he always loved to get a cow, bottle feed the cow, let it grow up, and then use it for meat. And it was kind of just this process that he wanted the boys to know how to do. And so we did that several times and had lots and lots of meat from that. And then Grampy Norm got this cow and the little kids named it Spot. And then Grampy Norm passed away. And so Spot the cow that was intended to be a meat cow is now a pet. So Spot is going to live out his days in our pasture out there. And because that cow reminds us of Grampy Norm, and he got that for the kids. So it's kind of a funny story. Let's see, next question. Bunch of sweet comments. Thank you guys. I honestly, like, we have the best followers. I don't even like to call it followers. We have the best community that I could ever imagine. I hear other content creators talk about just so much negative, and I honestly don't experience it. The only time I will experience negative is when, like, we have a viral reel, but those people don't know us. Like, the people in this community are so kind and uplifting, and I'm honestly thankful for you guys. And that's one of the main reasons I was like, I'm gonna turn off my auto response and just try to respond to you guys more, because you are more than just a follower. You know, like, this is a community that I value. I look forward to interacting with you guys. So anyway, thank you for the sweet comments. All right, next question. How do you not feel stalked by the local small town and it's a small town and I feel it, LOL. That's funny. So it is very rare that we go out and we don't run into people who follow our page and say something about it to us, but it's not, I don't feel stalked at all. Like, once again, I enjoy interacting with you guys. Like, I look forward to meeting people who enjoy our page, or if I have helped anyone in whatever capacity I have helped them. I love hearing about that. I love meeting people in public. The other day I ran into a lady, and she said that my story, my testimony involving domestic abuse really helped her, and that meant so much to me. And I was like, thank you for telling me that, and I'm really happy that I helped you in that way. I was just talking to Jenna about this the other day, about how I really need to talk more about that, because I feel like my story and my testimony, I feel like it's powerful, and I don't talk about it enough. And I always talk about it in October, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's only been a few years since I actually started sharing about that, even though it had been, like, you know, a decade and a half before that I went through everything. But I feel like that testimony is so powerful, and it has the ability to help so many people, that I really need to talk about it more, because, like, God gave me that story, and He gave me this platform, and I feel like if I'm not sharing that testimony on here, that I'm not using it the way that I should. So, because it's not necessarily my story. I say that. It's like God's story. My story, and just everything that I went through and to get to where I am right now, is so much of a powerful God story that can just help people. And I need to remember that and get out of my head, because it's hard to talk about it, because even though it has been almost 2 decades, to talk about it is to kind of put myself back there, and it still is hard, because it was really a hard time. But here we are today, and that story is not mine, and I need to share it more. So anyway, that's kind of a long roundabout answer to the local comment, but I enjoy meeting with locals. I especially enjoy hearing, whether it's local or not, just how our page has helped anyone. I enjoy that, because it's like, okay, this is why I do this. Okay, I'm gonna run through a few of these, because we've been on here a long time. She's just gonna take a nap right here. It's so cute. There. Look at your chubby little arm. It's so sweet. Is Lucas shy? We never hear him talk. I wouldn't say he's shy, but he's definitely a man of few words. He's not like a super talkative person. He's very stoic, but when he does talk, he's wise, you know? So, and the reason you don't hear him on here much is just because, like, this page is not really his thing, you know? Like I said earlier, when he's home, he just wants to be home. He just wants to be. So I try to keep the camera out of his face as much as possible. But he'll do it for me. He will. Next question. Someone was asking how much toilet paper we use in a week. I've never calculated that, but a lot, I guess. I don't know. That's funny. I have subscribe and save on Amazon, and toilet paper and paper towels is one of those things. I just have I have it just delivered on autopilot. Next question, let's see. Where did you and Lucas grow up? So I originally grew up in Wisconsin, and I moved to Missouri when I was 5. And Lucas grew up in Maine, and he moved to Missouri when he was about, I think he was 15, I think, when he moved to Missouri. And might have been 14. But anyway, then after that we moved to Arkansas, and then here we are. So we started out in very cold states, and now we ended up here in a very humid state. How does Cora like school? She loves it. She says she doesn't like it, but I think she says that because the older kids say that. But she loves school. She's doing great. Someone asked if Lucas and I ever take alone vacations. We haven't taken an alone vacation in a long time. We used to go on fishing tournament trips, and we would take a few kids. Some of you guys remember that if you followed us for quite a while. But we quit doing that when Lucas's dad passed away. Lucas just stopped fishing. He just didn't want to fish anymore. And it was just a different season. He just didn't want to fish anymore. He even sold his boat. He kept one boat, but he sold the other boat. And then we had a tornado on our property. And so he started working on cleaning up that tornado. And so he was more into like tractors and cleaning up that on our property. And so he started working on cleaning up that tornado. And so he was more into like tractors and cleaning up that. And then after Norm passed away, then my dad got sick, and now his mom broke a hip. And so as far as like us leaving to go on a vacation, I think it would be really stressful for us, because we like leaving 10 kids to go out of state or go on a vacation isn't easy when you don't have any support. We'd have to have like friends help with the kids, and all our friends have kids and lives, and we just genuinely enjoy being around our kids. If we were not with our kids, we would wish we were with our kids. And I don't feel like that takes away from our marriage. We still have time together every day. We were saying this in our live the other day. Like, we still have time every night to be together. You know, we put the kids to bed, and then we are still together. We can talk, and we have time together every day. And so I feel like our marriage isn't like less strong because we don't go on trips. I feel like we just make the most of it, and we don't feel like we're sacrificing anything. We just feel like this is our choice. This is what we want. This is our life. And you know, if we wanted to go like on a date or something, like if we wanted to go to dinner, we could go to dinner. Like, we could have like the older kids help out with the younger ones for a very short time. But even with that, we'd still wish we were home. So we don't go out much, but that's okay. Like, that's our choice. And we wouldn't honestly have it any other way. So it's not typical, but it's kind of what we do. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more of these, and then I'm going to go, because we've been on here a long time. Let's see. Someone said they liked seeing Lucas more on our page. What changed? Nothing really changed. Well, I mean, I guess it has. Like, I've started doing more like day in the life type content, like real life, like interacting more than like than trending reels. I do a little bit of those, but I've been doing more like actually talking and interacting, and so he's in there's like a hat on my head. TikTok's weird. It like puts hats on your heads for no reason. Anyway, so we've changed a little bit in that aspect. Like we've just started doing more like day in the life, interacting, interviewing, stuff like that. And I think people like that. I know that my older kids like that change a lot more than whenever we do like trending reels. They like to just be. And then whenever I make content, they don't really know I'm making content because they're just existing, and I'm making content while they're just doing life. So it's really cool how it works. Let's see. Do you think you'll get another dog? Do the kids still talk about Callie? That's so sweet. So for people who have been around here a long time, we had a little German Shepherd. It was actually Annie's sister because it came from the same parents as Annie. And our dog just died one day. It was for no reason. It was the craziest thing. We'd only had her like a month. And it was just wild. But no, I think we're at a good animal place. We have Bruno, we have Annie, we have Hildy, we have Veda, all in the house. And so I feel like with all of that, plus the 10 kids, I feel like even though we have a big house, that's good. We don't need any more. We don't need any more animals. Okay, she's got a cold. Sweet baby. Okay. Do you use your phone for photos? Yes, I use my phone, and I also use my Mark 4, what's it called? Mark 4 5D camera. It's like my good camera. So I use kind of a mixture, but mainly my phone. Someone said, your house is always clean. As a mom of 7, going on 8 and 40, I'm wondering how you keep your house clean. So I would say that my house is picked up. Yes, I do pick up my house, but as far as like scrubbing and cleaning, I don't like scrub and clean every room every day. It's not like that. But I always will pick up the house, and then every once in a while I go through and go like room to room to room, and I will deep clean. I do deep clean the kitchen, and I do clean the bathrooms really well. And the kids help me maintain their rooms. But you're right, like I have a 10,000 square foot house, and so it is a lot to maintain. But I just do a little bit every day, and then it just kind of gets done. So. All right, I'm gonna answer one more question. I have so many questions on here. I haven't gotten to this in a long time, so now that I'm on here, I'm like, let's answer all the questions. Where does Jenna want to go to college? She can go wherever she wants. I don't know. I don't know where she's gonna end up. She toured University of Arkansas the other day and liked it. She's also applied to lots of like prestigious universities. Vanderbilt, I think she applied to Harvard, Yale. I mean, I don't even know. I'm letting her decide. I said, let me know if you need support, if you need help. But she is such a go-getter and a leader. She's just kind of taking the reins and doing this. And so I'm excited to see where she's gonna go. But I don't know. I don't know yet. She's just applying, and I'm just excited for her future. It's gonna be amazing. Let's see, next question. How long have you and your hubby been together? So we first met each other when we were ages like 14 and 15. So I was like a freshman in high school, and Lucas was a junior when we first met. and he was young for his grade. So we're 1 year apart, but he was 2 years in school. But anyway, we didn't get together at that age though. We knew each other, but we didn't get together until after college. And so I guess we have been together like, I mean, it's going on like 20, it's like, what, 17 years? And then we knew each other long before that. So like we've known each other like almost half our lives, more than half our lives. That's crazy. So a long, long time. I can't imagine a time. There were very few years that I remember before him. We'll put it that way. And I love that. I love that whenever we talk about like old friends or high school, we have like the same memories. So it's really cool. Okay, I think that is all. That's all for now. I've talked for a long time, and she took a nice little nap, and I enjoyed visiting with everybody. All right, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day.